Tamil Nadu Assembly passes a unanimous resolution to commute death penalty to life, but the Union Law Minister says it's not binding on the centre. Even as the Madras High Court stays the execution by 8 weeks, the big question, will it be life and not death for them?
That you have kept a person in a state of mental torture for 11 years, that punishment is unconstitutional. Therefore, you should make some reward. You should make compensation. Compensation is to take away the death penalty.
Students, activists and members of different political groups celebrate the turn in the case of the 3 convicts in the Rajiv Gandhi assassination. MLAs work for a record 8.5 hours. Death penalty issue takes a major chunk at the State Assembly today. Another DMK practice reversed. The Chief Minister introduces a new bill for the direct election of mayors in all city corporations. Amma's bold promise of a nominal tele packages here. 90 channels at 70 rupees per month from the 2nd of September will be made available on the government cable. The 1-month fasting for Muslims is officially over. The moon has been sighted and tomorrow is Eid al-Fitr. For a second week in a row, Villupuram reports another case of a minor being sexually assaulted. The accused is still on the run. And Vidya Balan makes dirty looks good as Silk Smitha. A first look at the biopic on the seductress. Hello and welcome to the Late Night News on NDTV Hindu. I'm Evelyn Matthew. A quick look at what else has been making headlines across the nation and the world as well. Policy paralysis and global slowdown caused India's growth to slow to 7.7% in the first quarter. Ratan Tata says any future investments in West Bengal will depend on what he calls the hostility factor in the state towards his company. The Gujarat Lokayukta row disrupts the parliament. The BJP demands the Gujarat governor be recalled for bypassing the elected state government. Days after the historic impeachment proceedings in Parliament, a House panel submits its report on the Judicial Accountability Bill. The Cabinet fails to clear the new sports bill. The Sports Minister has now been asked to come up with a new one. As he's awarded an honorary PhD, MS Dhoni says he's hopeful of India turning it around in the first one-day series. And Kolkata is in a tizzy awaiting Messi's arrival, especially the 4 boys who will get to shake hands with him. Our top story tonight. The Madras High Court today stayed for at least 8 weeks the execution of 3 men convicted for the murder of former Prime Minister Rajiv Gandhi. In an unprecedented move, the Tamil Nadu Assembly also passed a unanimous resolution saying their mercy pleas should be considered.
Celebrations on the streets and hope for the 3 convicts in the Rajiv Gandhi assassination case after the Madras High Court stayed their execution scheduled for the 9th of September. The centre will now reply to the court in 8 weeks. The 3 convicts, Murugan, Santhan and Perarivalan, have been behind bars for 2 decades and the President rejected their clemency plea after 11 years. Pointing to the delay which he described as illegal, their lawyer Ram Jethmalani told the court it would take just 30 seconds to take a convict from the cell and pronounce him dead. But the delay has killed them every day for 11 years.
Main contention is that you have kept a person in a state of mental torture for 11 years.
In the Tamil Nadu Assembly, there was a surprise U-turn by Chief Minister Jayalalitha. She moved a resolution urging the President to commute the death sentence of all 3 convicts. Only on Monday, she had literally washed her hands off. But this could be tokenism, pandering to political compulsions. The same assembly during the DMK regime in 2000 had recommended death for these convicts. The centre says though the assembly resolution is not binding on it or the president, they will consider it.
जो राष्ट्रपति महोदय ने निर्णय लिया है उसके आगे मैं कुछ नहीं कह सकता हूं। हर एक का अधिकार होता है कोर्ट जाने का, वो गए हैं अगर कोर्ट तो कोर्ट को बताएगा, लेकिन मैं तो सिर्फ राष्ट्रपति महोदय के निर्णय तक ही अपने आप को सीमित रख सकता हूं।
सर, एनडीए के समय भी एक बात उठी थी कि क्या मर्सी पिटीशन, ये क्या ये मौत की सजा जो है इसको अबॉलिश करके नया कानून लाएं। कानून मंत्री के तौर पे आप क्या सोचते हैं कि कई बार हर बार जब कैपिटल पनिशमेंट की बात,
कानून मंत्री अपनी राय हर चीज पे नहीं देते हैं। कानून मंत्री को जब सरकार अपनी कोई राय बनाना चाहती है तो सरकार को राय कानून मंत्री देते हैं। पूरे मीडिया के सामने हर बात पे अपनी राय नहीं देते हैं कानून मंत्री, नहीं देनी भी नहीं चाहिए। जब कानून मंत्री नहीं हो तो आप जिस चीज पे चाहोगे तो राय दें।
There are also questions. How can the court question the powers of the president? Experts say it is possible, but it sets a bad precedent.
It is not only the men who are condemned to death. The others also can ask for reduced sentences or pardons.
Perhaps for the first time, the president's swiftness in disposing clemency petitions has come under question. The final outcome could have a bearing on others on death row. With camera person Edwin in Chennai, Sam Daniel, NDTV.
Let's just bring you the big announcement with regard to this case that was made at the State Assembly today. Chief Minister Jayalalitha passing that resolution against the death penalty.
தமிழக மக்களின் உணர்வுகளுக்கும் தமிழ்நாட்டில் உள்ள அரசியல் கட்சிகளின் கருத்துகளுக்கும் மதிப்பளிக்கும் வகையில் திருவாளர்கள் சுதேந்திர ராஜா என்கிற சாந்தன், ஸ்ரீஹரன் என்கிற முருகன் மற்றும் பேரறிவாளன் என்கிற அறிவு ஆகியோரின் கருணை மனுக்களை மறுபரிசீலனை செய்து அவர்களின் மரண தண்டனையை ஆயுள் தண்டனையாக குறைக்க நடவடிக்கை எடுக்க வேண்டும் என மேதகு இந்திய குடியரசுத் தலைவரை தமிழ்நாடு சட்டமன்ற பேரவை வலியுறுத்தி கேட்டுக்கொள்கிறது.
Well, the mother of one of the convicts, Perarivalan, has thanked Ms. Jayalalitha for that resolution today and hopes that capital punishment does not figure in the state anymore.
சட்டமன்றத்தில் தீர்மானம் நிறைவேற்றி என் மகனின் தண்டனை குறைப்புக்கு வழி செய்த முதல்வர் அம்மாவுக்கு முதற்கண் நன்றி. இவனுடைய தண்டனை குறைப்புக்கு குரல் கொடுத்து ஆதரவு தெரிவித்த அனைத்து உள்ளங்களுக்கு முதல் நன்றி. முற்றா மரண தண்டனை ஒழிக்கப்படணும். ஏன்னா அந்த மரண தண்டனைன்னா என்ன வேதனை அனுபவிப்பாங்கன்றது நான் உணர்ந்தவோ. அதனால உலகிலே மரண தண்டனை ஒழியணும்னு நினைக்கிறேன். அதுவும் இப்போ தமிழ்நாட்டில் முக்கியமாக மரண தண்டனை ஒழிக்கணும்.
Meanwhile, this issue has clearly turned into a politically explosive one inside the Madras High Court today. In fact, there was a thunderous applause when the decision was announced that the hanging was stayed while the case is being studied. Several political leaders and pro-Tamil activists have said that the men have now served more than 20 years in prison and do not deserve the death sentence. The MDMK's chief, Vaiko, welcomed it as historic and one that brought such a credit for the Chief Minister Jayalalitha. He added that no state assembly in the country has passed a resolution to commute death sentence to life. The Congress, meanwhile, calls it a threat to the future leaders at a national level and condemns the resolution.
தலைவர்கள் படுகொலை செய்பவர்களை விடுவிக்க வேண்டும் என்ற கோரிக்கையின் மீது தமிழக அரசு ஏற்றிருக்கும் இந்த தீர்மானம் என்பது நாளை இது ஒரு பெரிய நாட்டின் அச்சுறுத்தல், நாட்டின் தலைவர்களுக்கெல்லாம் ஒரு அச்சுறுத்தலாகத்தான் அமைந்திருக்கும். ஆகையால் இவைகளை நீதிமன்றங்கள் ஆதாரங்களின் வாயிலாக எவ்வாறு தீர்ப்பெடுக்கிறதோ அதை நீதிமன்றங்களுக்கும் சட்டத்திற்கும் நாம் விட்டுவிட வேண்டும். அதுதான் சரியான முடிவு. ஆகையால் காங்கிரஸ் கட்சியின் தரப்பில் இந்த தீர்மானத்தை நாங்கள் எதிர்க்கிறோம். அது மட்டுமல்ல, இத்தகைய அச்சுறுத்தலுக்கு நாடு தள்ளப்படக்கூடாது என்பதை அனைவரும் உணர வேண்டும் என்பது எங்கள் கருத்து.
Now, in what could be an apparent move to end the monopoly of the multi-crore cable television business currently in the state-run Arasu Cable Television Corporation will start functioning from the 2nd of September. As a result of this, a total of 90 channels, including pay channels, would be made available on this platform for a monthly fee of 70 rupees. Chief Minister Jayalalitha told the Assembly today that while consumers will be charged this amount, operators will have to pay 20 rupees per connection.
தொலைக்காட்சி சேவையை பெறும் சந்தாதாரர்களிடமிருந்து மாத சந்தாவாக 70 ரூபாய் மட்டுமே கேபிள் டிவி ஆபரேட்டர்களால் வசூலிக்கப்படும் என்பதையும் மகிழ்ச்சியுடன் தெரிவித்துக் கொள்கிறேன். இந்த ஒளிபரப்பை வழங்கும் கேபிள் டிவி ஆபரேட்டர்களிடமிருந்து கட்டணமாக ஒரு இணைப்பிற்கு 20 ரூபாய் தமிழ்நாடு அரசு கேபிள் டிவி நிறுவனத்தால் வசூலிக்கப்படும்.
A new bill was introduced in the Assembly by the Chief Minister today. It sees the introduction of a direct election of mayors in all city corporations in the state. This is one more example of reversal of the earlier DMK regime's practice. In 2006, there was no direct election, but members of the Assembly elected their mayor. However, in 1996 and 2001, direct elections to the mayor's office were held. So all in all, the Assembly session today took 8.5 hours with what political leaders have described as a historic resolution against death penalty and replies by 5 state ministers in their respective departments. The resolution and subsequent discussion took some more time. The state's forest, commercial, taxes, tourism, information and the Hindu religious and charitable endowments ministers gave in their replies today. The 2-day holiday for Ramzan and Vinayaka Chaturthi made the Assembly spend more time as well. When we come back on this bulletin, we give you a good reason on why you needn't go to office but get your work done at the same time. That's in just a bit.